Thank you. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. So I guess you were all expecting Vitalik, you got me, life isn't fair. But yeah, I'll try to do my best. The topic, building better tools for DeFi, sounds pretty general, right? It's kind of it's actually an answer to the question we get asked the most. Well, actually, not the most, the most question we get asked is when token, but the second question we get asked a lot is, what do you guys actually do? So because we're building for the past 5 years in DeFi, one way to summarize it all is that we're trying to build better tools for DeFi. And that's kind of the point of the presentation as well. So just a quick intro. My name is Nenad. Last name is too hard to pronounce. I'm the co-founder of DeFi Saver. I've been a Solidity developer since 2017. And in general, I started this journey into crypto and DeFi as a way to explore and build smart contracts. So just a quick intro how actually the company DeFi Saver started. The first name was called CDP Saver, as we were focused on MakerDAO, as at that time it was one of the only DeFi protocols around. We started in December of 2018. We were all on vacation in Thailand. I wanted to not sell my Ether while I was in Thailand and actually generate some DAI so I can sponsor the trip. So I was kind of one of the first MakerDAO users that was actually using it in real life. It was a really good plan. The only thing I didn't plan was Ether to crash horribly while I was there. The second thing that I didn't plan was that I will be not working at the vacation, but going around and driving motorcycles. So I didn't really pay attention to the price. And what happened? I got liquidated. Well, I actually didn't get liquidated, but it's better for the story if I say I was. I almost got liquidated, but the idea that arose was the same. I was back at a hotel. I was thinking that I'm a developer in this space. I'm somebody who's like following it deeply and knows a lot about it. But even I had issues with it, and I almost got liquidated. So obviously, there's a way for us to have better tools, to have maybe a dashboard or some bots that can help prevent liquidations. And that's how we actually started CDP Saver, as a tool to prevent liquidations. Obviously, once we dove in deep into DeFi protocols, we saw there's a lot of other things we can do as well. And to forward, like in the present state, we are no longer CDP Saver, as the whole DeFi ecosystem grew a lot, and so did we. We're an all-in-one DeFi management tool, basically meaning that we aggregate all your favorite DeFi protocols and provide essentially a layer on top of it. So we do provide additional features besides just aggregating. Currently, we obviously have a lot of the favorite L2 networks, the protocols you use, and so on. I'm not going to name them all. I did mention one thing. So aggregation is one of the features, but I said we have a middle layer, or we have more advanced features. And one of the starting point on how do we build better tools in DeFi, I'm just going to quickly go over what are some of the tools we built in the past 5 years. So the first feature was the repay, and subsequently the boost feature as well. So once we realized we want to help users help fight liquidation, right? We realized that the users could repay their position because they always have, some collateral and some debt, and you can always sell a bit of your collateral without any liquidation penalties and so on, and kind of manage the position in that way. People were doing that manually, creating multiple transactions. Some transactions fail, some liquidity isn't that good, and so on. So while we saw that people were doing like the leverage and deleverage operations manually, we did realize there's a better way essentially to make it in one transaction, one click, and to make it kind of safer and essentially quicker for the user. Obviously, it's not just about the safeness and the quickness. Also, you can utilize some more advanced concepts like flash loans when you have it all in one transaction. So it even provided like additional benefits besides just being a useful feature. The next part, the strategies, those are the real things I had in mind back in Thailand, that I can't really be online 24/7, even though I try really hard. But obviously, if I have DeFi positions, I cannot always monitor them, I cannot always manage them. So we have built a system of strategies where users can put in their own inputs on when they want certain actions to be taken care of them on their part. Obviously, there's a ton of features. I'm not going to cover them all, but there's even interesting ones like loan shifter. I know if you have a loan in a bank and you try to switch to another bank, that's usually a really big process, right? In the DeFi ecosystem and with utilizing a platform like DeFi Saver, switching to one protocol to another is essentially one click, permissionless, easy to do. Also, we have something called a recipe creator. For people who aren't developers, we built basically a easy-to-use UI where you can bundle all the different transactions into a custom action. So when we're talking about building better tools, these are some of the major ones over the past 5 years that we've been working a lot on. Now, I know the R values part always sounds cringy, as like oil companies have some really good values and mission statements, so they don't mean much. But I guess kind of a reason I made this slide and I wanted to talk about, it's more about like lessons learned in the past 5 years. So definitely everybody who's into crypto and DeFi, like you all are, knows about like all the cycles and the trends and the buzzwords we all faced. Obviously, when you have an app that's aggregating DeFi, choosing which things are going to go into the app and choosing which kind of technologies to be based on, it's kind of really hard. So we always try to have some long-term thinking and vision, and not to essentially trend chase or implement something that's just short-term beneficial. Obviously, we're at SafeCon, so the non-custodial approach. I emphasize the non part, as a few weeks back I was doing a podcast and I was saying that we are a custodial all the time because I messed it up. So non-custodial, we don't hold any user funds, and smart wallets like Safe help us accomplish that. Transparency and open building blocks, obviously that's one of the core features and the values of Ethereum as well. Keeping things open source, having good communications with customers, and essentially participating in the community and not just trying to segregate users for our own purposes. Privacy first and minimal tracking. That's not something that's kind of Web3 focused, but I think it's important. We never really wanted to have any sort of additional tracking for the users. While it is easier, the marketing guy, hates us because we don't do any sort of tracking, but I feel like it's important to kind of respect the anonymity of the users, and that's one of the things we were trying to do over these years. Keeping Ethereum's values of decentralization, given that we're all in this room, obviously we all know what those values are, and I guess like Ethereum is one of the main blockchains that kind of propagate good values, so we didn't really want to have Solana values, I guess. Okay, so given that we are at SafeCon, I have to talk a little bit about smart wallets as well. We actually, from the beginning, so from the early 2019, actually had a smart wallet architecture. It wasn't anything really, we weren't like visionaries and know that everybody's going to talk about account abstraction like 5 years after that. But once we first started creating those tools we wanted to build, we realized that building it with traditional externally owned accounts isn't possible, basically, because we wanted to bundle multiple actions into one transaction, and it was really important for it to be atomic. The only way to do that was to have some sort of a smart wallet actually own the positions. We've utilized the DS proxy, which was still is a maker proxy wallet they built a long time ago. And it worked out really good, so we could have all the additional features as the strategies where we perform an action for the user, but still not owning any of the user's funds, and obviously building those advanced features where you can have it in one click. The better security management, I guess we all know that if you have a smart wallet, you can easily rotate the keys you control and build it into a multisig or something else. So one of the things we did, I guess like 3 months ago, and the reason I'm here right now is we no longer use DS proxy as the default wallet. It served its purpose really well, but we realized that times are moving on, and we need a kind of a more up-to-date and community-accepted, a kind of a better version and a fully featured smart wallet. And of course, as developers, when you're faced with such a challenge, you start coding and building something. But we did quickly realize that the thing we need actually has been on the Ethereum blockchain for forever, basically, for the past 5-6 years. So we realized, like, OK, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. There's a perfectly good, safe wallet, which is really modular. We can extend it to work on our use cases. And also, a lot of people already have and trust the safe wallet. So that was kind of a big step for us a couple of months back to move away from the old architecture. And actually, when you go now to our app, and if you have a safe wallet, you can start managing it right now. If you don't have, it's one click to create your personal safe wallet. I'm not going to talk too much about the benefits of Safe, given that we're all at SafeCon. But you all know that having a personal multisig is much better security practices. The Safe is highly modular, basically meaning that you can have all these modules and extensions where you can provide additional safety and, in general, additional features as well. OK. So now that we talked a little bit about what we do, what's our purpose, what's the future, it's definitely building more tools to help solve user problems. And Safe is definitely helping us accomplish that. One of the features we're building right now is called Transaction Relay. So basically, we realized that users are still having a problem with transaction failing, with them figuring out what's the correct gas price, what's the correct gas limit, if they're going to get mapped or not. One cool thing about the Safe architecture is that you can just sign the transaction, and by default, the Safe architecture enables anyone to actually execute the action. So we're working on a system where you can easily just sign your transactions, and we'll figure out the hard part of you not getting mapped or the failing transaction not affecting you. Obviously, given that the Safe is highly extensible, we can provide granular security controls. So you can think of having multiple DeFi positions on a Safe, but maybe you have some certain features on one of those positions enabled just by more Safe owners or kind of a different security control than the base Safe. Obviously, we're really glad that a lot of different people are working in the Safe community to build additional interfaces and so on. One of our goals was never to lock in the user only to use us. We're here to build good tools for the user, not trying to trap them in. So having and being a part of the Safe ecosystem where everybody is building a lot of different interfaces and power tools, and being a part of that, that's something that we really enjoyed. OK, if you want to follow me or the company, we're active on Twitter, you can visit the site at defisaver.com. We have around 25 people in the company. About 10 of them are Nicolas. So it's, you can kind of always assume that you're talking to a Nicola from DeFi Saver, and it's good. So it's good for us for anonymity as well. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you.